Hey guys, it's Mr. Maximo here. Vinny Sandu for the European Cricket Network with another match preview for a European cricket series. And this week we are in Frankfurt, Germany for a 5-day ECS. There's 10 teams there waiting for us. There's going to be heaps of T10 cricket action. This is match preview for the first match between Frankfurt CC and Türk FC Hattersheim am Main. This game will start Monday, the 28th of September at 7 a.m. GMT, which is 9 o'clock in Central Europe. It's 12:30 p.m. in India. And as always, you can catch the action right here on the European Cricket Network, whether that's through our website, ecn.cricket, or our YouTube channel, ECN European Cricket Network. Of course, if you're in India, you can catch it on Fancode. And I've got a very special guest today joining me to help with the match preview show. It's my European Cricket League co-commentator, Michael McCann, and he will be there in Frankfurt this week, bringing us the action on ECN. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Vinny. Pleasure to be here.
And I know that you've put in a lot of research, as have I, on these teams. So we really appreciate your input. And just a reminder to everybody out there, if you don't already, why don't you follow us on social media? Because as I always say, there is so much happening in the world of European cricket. We have 5 days of cricket coming to you from Frankfurt. And so you can follow us at European Cricket. You can follow me at Mr. Maximo. You can follow Michael at This Is McCann. And you can also download the European Cricket Network app on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Let's have a look at what's coming your way then from Frankfurt, Germany this week. Like we said, 10 teams. They're in groups of 5. They'll play each other within their group. So they'll play 4 preliminary matches. Then the top 2 from each group will go through to the final 4, who will play on finals Friday, which will be Friday, the 2nd of October. So, Michael, looking at these 2 groups, are there any teams to watch out for, do you think?
I would say Group B is the stronger group. You've got FCA 04 Darmstadt, who've just won what was meant to be a 3-match playoff against KSV Kummerfield for the right to play in ECL 21. They didn't even need a third game. They won it 2-0 to book their spot. So they're definitely the favourites in Group B. But you've also got MSC Frankfurt, who won the July ECS and won the state T20 competition this year. So that pool has got 2 particularly strong teams in. And the favourites in Pool A are arguably SG Heidenhausen or Türk FC Hattersheim, of course, featuring in our first game, because Hattersheim were the runners-up in the ECS in July.
It's interesting, isn't it, Michael, because FCA 04 Darmstadt, they were big favourites going into the previous ECS in Frankfurt. And we should mention to everyone that there was a 6-team ECS played over 2 days on the 18th and 19th of July. And what I'll do, actually, I'll put the link to the landing page on the ECN website to that tournament, so you can check out all the previous stats and the previous scorecards from those games, because 6 of those teams are playing in this tournament. But FCA 04 Darmstadt came into that team as hot favourites, and as you say, they're Germany's ECL representatives, and they've been in good form. But they didn't even make the final in that tournament back in July. So it just shows you how even and how competitive some of these teams are with each other, that really, although there's some favourites, we will see some upsets this week, I think.
Oh, absolutely. It's T10 cricket. It's inherently unpredictable, and we just don't know. Though, based on what we know now, Group B does look the stronger. And SV Wiesbaden also deserve a mention, because they actually won 10 consecutive games in the state T20 competition. They won 9 from 9 in the pool and won their quarter-final, and then they had a bad day in the semi-final against MSC Frankfurt and were out. So they've been the surprise package in German cricket this season, and they're also in Group B. So right now, Group B would look the stronger of the 2, but it's T10, isn't it? Somebody has their day, somebody has their moment, and there's plenty of talent across all of these 10 teams.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. So let's get to this first match between Frankfurt CC and Türk FC. Do have some likely lineups for you guys here. Frankfurt CC will be led by their captain, Alim Al-Razi, with Wamak Saeed to be their wicketkeeper, while for Türk FC, Abdul Hamid Bhatti will be leading them onto the field, with Shahid Ahmed to be behind the stumps for them. A little bit about these 2 teams. Well, Frankfurt CC did play in the ECS back in July. Unfortunately, they didn't win a match, so they came 6th out of 6 teams. But Michael, they had a lot of close games, didn't they? They're just unlucky not to win any of them.
Yeah, they did. It's just the nature of T10 cricket, they were certainly no whipping boys. So all 3 of their matches went down to the final 2 balls, which you can't really get much tighter than that. And they just came out on the wrong side of 3 very, very, very close games. It was perfectly conceivable in another very close parallel universe, to go all Doctor Who on you, that they could have easily won 2 from 2 and ended up in the final. But they didn't.
The margins.
Yeah, exactly. The margins are so small, and Hattersheim, of course, made the final, where they lost to MSC Frankfurt, but were a bit of a surprise package. Hattersheim would come into this game the favourites, though, because they beat Frankfurt in that tournament in July, and they also beat them relatively comfortably in the state T20 tournament when they met last month. So they've got the nub on them in both head-to-heads where they've faced this summer.
Sure. Let's get to Mr. Maximo's 11 to watch. And again, I've given you the task today, Michael, to come up with an 11 to watch, although it did look quite a lot like mine. Take us through Michael McCann's 11 to watch.
Yes, so I've gone for a sort of 6-5 or 7-4 split, depending on kind of how you see the balance of the team needing to be. If you're on your sort of fantasy games, you need a certain amount of bowlers. But from Frankfurt CC, I've gone for Tanzil Tariq, who's comfortably the best 6 hitter in this Frankfurt side. Hits big straight bombs, so you definitely want him in your team. There's Nakash Naveed, left-hander who should bat in the top 5, bowls good left-arm offies as well. On the bowling side for Frankfurt CC, had to pick Hassan Nauman, will charge in opening the bowling for them. Also bats around 5 or 6. And he was the team's best all-rounder in T20 cricket this summer, but actually is listed as a bowler. So he's a bit of a money ball in that sense, because he's giving you something with the bat too. Of course, I can't talk about Frankfurt CC saving the best to last without mentioning Mohammed Alishan. Hit 200s in the state T20 competition. He was the second highest run scorer in the entire competition. And that was a competition that had 20 teams in it. So this guy's a serious talent. So he would be another must include from Frankfurt CC. For Türk FC, got a super highlight, Faisal Bashir. Best batsman in the entire competition at the Frankfurt ECS in July. Obviously, it was a very short competition, as we touched on, but don't take it away from him. He was the top run scorer, scored at a ridiculous strike rate, 225 no less. But what I find fascinating about him that I'm looking forward to seeing in the flesh, but I saw from watching from a distance, he's actually a very classical batsman, hits the ball along the floor and didn't hit that many 6s. More than half of his runs came from 4s. Which is something you don't often necessarily see in the T10 game. I've also highlighted both of the men who will almost certainly open the batting for TFC. So you've got wicketkeeper batsman Shahid Ahmed and the very impressive all-rounder Inam Ullah, who was their best player in this summer's state T20 comp. He's one of 3 TFC all-rounders who have picked. So you've got captain Abdul Hamid Bhatti. He'll bat at 4, bowl some useful mediums as well. And then Alam Noor Zadran. So he took 3 for 13 with his crafty spin in the semi-final ECS win in July to help TFC win the final, where they ultimately, of course, lost to MSC Frankfurt, who come into this as the defending champs. And then to finish off my 11, I've got Yasir Mahmood Sheikh, who keeps it very tight with the ball, second best economy rate in the entire T20 competition this summer domestically. I'd also actually expect him to bat in the top 6 as he can hit big. So again, he's a bowler, but offering you something with the bat. And then to finish off, obviously, there is the wicket-keeping option, if required, of Wamak Saeed. But if you need another bowler, then Amir Waheed would be your option. He got 2 for 11 the last time these two sides met in the ECS, which 2 for 11 from 2 overs in a T10 game is pretty astonishing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would probably call back to the July ECS. Alishan Nomad, probably his one innings that I remember, he was absolutely blasting them and he ran himself out and he looked to be really on track for a huge score. And it just shows you how the games can turn on a dime. But I do expect him to go really big at some point. It could be in this game. Also, Akil Tariq, will probably open the batting with him. We haven't put him in the 11 to watch, but he played some of the most entertaining innings. There was one game, because I wonder, he's got a bit of the Arjuna Ranatungas about him, Akil Tariq. And so he did bat the 10 overs and looked like he would perhaps need the oxygen at the end of that. But so there's a couple more players to mention there. So let's see how he goes. I'm looking forward to watching him play again. And it's just great when we get to play another ECS in a place we've been previously. So thanks very much, Michael, for your insights. We have to get to prediction time, of course, in this game. You did mention that Türk FC probably have earned the right to be favourites, but there's not much in it. Who have you predicted to win the game, Michael?
So as I hinted, I've gone for TFC Hattersheim because they have won the last couple of head-to-heads between these two, but they've both been relatively narrow wins, and it is T10. But I would still side with TFC Hattersheim based on the form and what we know going in. But this is an inherently unpredictable format where in one bad over you can go a long way to basically losing a game. If you lose 3 or 4 wickets, it's very hard to fight back.
Sure.
But for now, if you're forcing me to give one, which I know you are, I'd put my neck on the line and go TFC Hattersheim.
Well, Michael, great minds think alike, because I've also gone for Türk FC to win this opening match of 5 matches. Of course, there's 5 matches every day, Monday to Thursday, and you can catch the action right here on the European Cricket Network. I've put Fazal Bashir to be my star player. Like you said, Michael, he was the standout batsman in the ECS back in July, and he's got the form on the board. But of course, anything can happen. I'm certainly looking forward to catching all the action from Frankfurt on the ECS. And Michael, I bet you're enjoying being back behind the microphone in European cricket.
I certainly am. I can't wait. And if people can feel free, if they wish to do so, wherever you're watching in the world, get your tweets in just like we did at the ECL back, whatever it was, a long 15, 16 months ago now, but before the world was in a very different place. Get your tweets in on @thisismccann and on the hashtag ECS. And anyone who gets involved will be given their moment. Will be, as well as commentating on the games, discussing all sorts of different things about everything going on across European cricket. And of course, ECL 21 starting to take shape with, I believe it's all but 3 of the 16 teams now locked in. So we're increasingly seeing what the future of European cricket in regard to the Champions League of European cricket will also look like down the track.
Yeah, and that's right. We are starting to see it take shape, and we've got some playoffs that have just been happening and that are coming up across the next 2 weeks. So yeah, guys, make sure you do that. Tweet @thisismccann, and you can also, of course, join the YouTube chat, the live YouTube chat on the European Cricket Network YouTube channel.
I'll be pulling comments out of that as well, so get involved.
Excellent, Michael. Well, thanks so much for helping me today with my match preview show, match 1 of the week in ECS Frankfurt. But for now, this is Vinny Sandhu for the European Cricket Network saying enjoy the game. We'll see you next time on European Cricket. Thanks again, Michael McCann.
My pleasure.
Okay, it's goodbye for now. See you next time on the European Cricket Network.